Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery, IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It's a beautiful Monday morning, November 30th, 2020, the last day of November. And of course, tomorrow starts December, the last month of the year. This is going to be a really important week for training. So each morning at 8 o'clock Central, or a minute or so before, here on this same Zoom bridge, we're going to have some really in-depth practical training to allow our distribution partners to be able to best service small business clients, and B, to be able to have the maximum income in the month of December 2020 and beyond. So at this time, we get together with our distribution partners. Our focus this week is going to be very much our current joint venture incubator partners and any new ones coming on. As of the time of this recording, we have 10 incubators in operation right now. There's ours, kind of the in-house, and 9 joint venture partners. And I anticipate that we'll probably add another 5 or 10 this week. So with that being said, we have 2 topics today, and then this is going to blend over into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I'll describe. So we want to talk about generating clients, and one of the primary ways to do that is to develop a team of affiliates, or what we're going to call educators, that work with you in your incubator. So they are your lead generators. As a joint venture incubator manager, you're going to develop your sales team, you're going to manage your sales team, and you're going to pay your sales team. And we're going to talk more about that and a great tool in just a second. And then secondly, we need to really get familiar with what you're going to do as a joint venture incubator manager, either yourself or delegating to someone within your incubator to work with clients over the initial 4-week period, which is described here. So we're going to give an overview of this and go through this content today. But on Tuesday, December 1st, we're going to have a greater focus of discussion on what you do during week 1. On Wednesday, we'll have a discussion more what you do on week 2. On Thursday, for week 3, as the client progresses through, and week 4, the banking and money. So we'll do an overview of this 4-week sequence today, and we're going to drill down each day this week. All right, so let me pull up a different screen here for you. And some of you remember seeing this previously. Now, you should all see the entrepreneur ecosystem, and we've developed this before. As we're looking at how to go about generating clients, and if anyone doesn't see this, just post it on the Q&A and I'll reshare the screen. We've talked about there's different ways that our incubator can generate clients to work with. We've talked about leads list. We have a database of all newly formed businesses, frankly, all businesses, but especially newly formed LLCs, C Corps, S Corps, and even DBAs. So we can keep you fed with leads. Secondly, we talked about the importance of education, often teaching the 27 reasons. That's the educational message we have that helps small businesses understand that it's crucial to meet the credibility factors. And if you meet those credibility factors, then you get approved for funding. If you don't meet the credibility factors, then you often don't. So education was another strategy. Another strategy we talked about for incubators to develop small business clients is to work with key influencers. And so that's described here. The fourth is, of course, to have your own in-house sales team, which is going to dovetail into this topic. So let's first revisit the ecosystem, and then we'll get back to the sales team concept. So we know that in each community across the country that there are many, many small businesses that want to need access to capital. There's just no doubt about that. And that there are others that are involved working with small businesses in different capacities that need to know who you are. They need to know that you manage a small business incubator. They need to understand what your incubator does and how it helps people. And then you can develop a referral relationship with them. So, first of all, business bankers and lenders. Obviously, there are business bankers in communities across the country. That's often where small business owners go when they're looking for funding. But what you and I know, the vast majority of them are not capital ready. They're not ready for funding. And so banks need to do something with their declines. What we would like to do is have them refer their declined small businesses to your incubator so we can help improve their capital readiness through our access to capital program. So that's a ripe opportunity, but there's so many business banks out there and bankers. How would you ever reach all of them? You can't and you won't. That's why we need to build a sales team underneath your incubator, which is our topic we're building up to. There's key influencers in every community, including pastors and chambers of commerce, online meetup groups, business organizations, trade schools, and other employment resources where we can offer to help individuals create jobs and start businesses rather than just simply get a job. So all of these key influencers need to know that you run a small business incubator. They need to know who you are and how you help small businesses. But will you have enough time to reach all these people? You won't. That's why we need to have a sales team, the topic we're building up to. There's office buildings and co-working spaces and all kinds of different business to business professionals. So it's important that you as the leader, you're managing, you're running the incubator, but you will not have enough time to reach all of these people. So what we're going to need to do is develop a team of people that are going to do that for you. And so let's bring up that screen here. I sent this out. And again, I'm sharing now a Word document you should see on your screen. If you don't, type in Q&A, let me know and I'll reshare it, but it should be showing. So we created a standard template of a job description, a job posting that you need to use, in our opinion, and start building your sales team. You can post this on Indeed. You can post this on Craigslist. You can post it on any job board you want online. But you need, as an incubator manager, to start building a team of what we're calling financial literacy educators. Now, you can change this job description up, but it's pretty much turnkey and ready to go. Of course, you're going to need to change where they apply to, and then you'll probably want to save this as a PDF rather than Word version. But in many cases, what you'll be doing is copying and pasting content out of this to put on Indeed or what have you. As an incubator manager, you're going to decide how you want to pay your educators, and it can fall into one of two categories. You can either pay your educators much like we pay affiliates, where they're 1099 and they're paid only based upon performance, or you can use the workforce grant that you've heard us talk about, whereby we can use tax money to pay for up to 90 days of your educators. So they're going to be paid a salary or hourly, however you decide. It'll cover their workers' comp cost and their benefits cost at no cost to your incubator. It's not too good to be true. It's a tax subsidized program, but it doesn't pay just part of your educator's cost. It completely covers their cost for the first 90 days. So you could have 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 10 educators that are out working the entrepreneurial ecosystem like we just looked at, driving volume into your incubator. Otherwise, if you want to keep it simple, you can bring them on and just pay as based upon performance. In the Joint Venture Incubator, we're doing a 50-50 split, and your 50 is what would be compensation for generating clients. And so however much you want to pay your educators, that's going to be a cost to your incubator, to your side, your 50%. I encourage you to not be a small thinker, because some people will say, well, if that's the case, I don't want to pay anyone anything. Well, what type of volume are you generating, right? If you're not generating at least the goal of one new client a day in your incubator, 30 to 35 a month, then you're not near meeting your potential. So it's a fool's goal to think, oh, I'll go start an incubator and I won't have any expenses. I don't need to hire any people. Well, that's craziness, because you're not going to be able to reach out to that entire environmental ecosystem. So you can either pay them 1099 or you can use the workforce grant. Okay, so I want to pause there and see if there are any questions that any of you have on the first agenda item before we get to the second agenda item. Because again, if you're running an incubator, you've got to build a team. You've got to build an outreach team. And if you don't want to call them financial literacy educators, call them something else. Call them community liaisons. Call them whatever you want to call them. But there's 28 million plus small businesses, new and starting every month, every week, every day. There's all these key influencers. Your incubator is not going to near reach its potential if you're a one-man or a one-woman show. Okay, so let's get to questions that you have on learning objective number 1 that's highlighted here on the screen now, and then we'll move on to the second agenda item. And again, if at any time you're not seeing the shared screen, let me know. Okay, so Diamond asked, Diamond is one of our newest Joint Venture Incubator Managers. So Diamond, welcome to the team. And I think just recently we've got your landing page up, Diamond. We sent you your flyer. Your incubator is open for business. So that's exciting. Okay, so yeah, Diamond, what we need to do is have a one-on-one conversation and make sure that you're set up, and then to tap into that grant. So understand it, and everyone needs to understand this. And we sent out an email, I think it was over the weekend, talking about how address matters. Because the address of a business, or even the address of your incubator, will determine some sources of capital that you have access to. One of the reasons that we put our main incubator here, where it is in East Texas, is for 2 reasons. Number 1, we have access to the Chapman Fund, which allows us to help small businesses access up to $250,000 through a tax-funded program. It's a loan that the small business has to pay back, but it comes not from banks, but it comes from a taxing authority. And so only if the business's address is in the geographic area of that taxing authority can they access the Chapman Fund. So we can set, Diamond, your incubator up with our address, and then you'll qualify for the Chapman Fund if you care for that. But secondly, address matters because there is the workforce grant that I've described, covers up to 90 days of labor and benefits for your employees. And so that is, again, subject to a taxing authority jurisdiction. So we can piggyback off of our address for clients that are enrolling through incubators, or even for your joint venture incubator, and tap into that. So we can absolutely do so. All right, next question before we get to learning objective 2. Yes. So as joint venture incubator managers, you're going to be mentoring clients, or having someone in your team mentor through this 4-week process. That's learning objective number 2. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. And then we're going to dig deeper again, Tuesday on this, Wednesday on this, Thursday on this, and Friday on this, because we want to have a really great client experience. And you're going to be the interface with them during that 4-week period. In addition to that, of course, as incubator managers, Diamond, you should be out educating. That's one of the 4 main ways of creating a sales funnel. So very good. Barry asked about compensation for the financial literacy educators. Well, it's really up to you how you want to pay them. You could certainly just replicate our current affiliate model and pay them off of that affiliate model, or you could do something else. It is entirely up to you. What you'll know is if you pay them a salary plus incentives, you're going to get more production and more focus out of people. So I would encourage you, Barry, to pay them at least a reasonable base, maybe $30,000 to $50,000 a year base, and then incentive on top of that. But ultimately, that's a cost to your joint venture incubator. That is your decision. And Victor, we'll help you with the workforce grant. All we need to do is get your joint venture incubator set up, and then we'll need to piggyback off of our address, our commercial address, which is easy enough, and make sure that you're compliant, and then we can go ahead and tap into that workforce grant for your incubator, Victor. Thank you for asking. All right. And so when we're setting up the joint venture incubators, we have two options. Either you can piggyback off of our address, because we have a commercial lease, a commercial address here. And so your incubator can actually be officed within our incubator. That's the easiest. Then you don't have any overhead of rent. We already cover the property and casualty insurance. It's kind of plug and play. Alternatively, if you don't want to do that, you can go secure your own commercial address, like Will. We talk about Will frequently. He's on the webinar, and so he's setting up a joint venture incubator in New Jersey. So he's going to go incur the cost to lease that space, which is fine. Now, Will's clients using his incubator won't have access to the Chapman Fund or to the workforce grant, because New Jersey is not part of the taxing district where those two programs apply. But Will may very well know something that we don't know, that there may be some other benefits through the taxing authorities in his area. And so that is fine. All right, last question, then we're going to get into agenda item number 2. So Diamond, if you are a joint venture incubator manager, so we're doing a 50-50 split. And so you can pay yourself out of that 50-50 split however you want, but the joint venture incubators pay the financial literacy educators that work for them. Okay, so hopefully that's enough on agenda item number 1. So let's summarize and then let's move on to the next topic. Point number 1 is, you can't go it alone. We're not going to be able to optimize the economic impact or your income of your joint venture incubator if you're a one-person show. That is not smart. We need to build financial literacy educators that can be paid however you want to pay them, 1099 or W-2 or some combination of the two. And they work for your incubator, you manage them, you train them. Now, of course, you're welcome to plug them into our daily trainings like this one, but they're your team. So we'll support you, you support them. Moving on to agenda item number 2. So as we talked about on Wednesday of last week, we didn't have training on Thursday or Friday because of the Thanksgiving holiday. That best practice for your incubator is to promote the Access to Capital program. It has no upfront cost. It provides the clients a guaranteed $100,000 capital raise, and participants can qualify regardless of personal credit scores and regardless of time in business. That's going to cast the widest net. And then once they come in, and you can go back and listen to Wednesday's training if you're not familiar with it, then we'll go through and help identify any voids of credibility factors and assist them with that. And we do a 50-50 revenue share. So it could be that they don't have a commercial address. Well, that's a credibility factor that obviously your incubator can help. Maybe they don't have a collateral assignment, a key person policy. So of course, then you'll be able to assist with that. It may be that their business credit profile or personal credit profile is not optimized. So we can help them with that, those areas. It may be that they don't have any cash flow and they don't have any liquidity. We can of course help them with that. But regardless, we're going to be taking clients, whether they enroll first in the Access to Capital, the no upfront cost, or if they come directly into your incubator, we need to take them through this 4-week curriculum. Now, this 4-week curriculum is described on our website, on the IIMFL website. So let's go to the home page so you see it, and go to Small Business Certification. So if you're not really familiar with this, you need to be, because this is the first 4-week, the 28-day curriculum that all of your clients will go through, whether they're officially enrolled in your incubator or if they're just simply accessing the Access to Capital program through our joint venture incubator relationship. So week 1, we talk about planning for a successful business. We're very transparent. You, they, anyone can click here and actually see the on-demand educational message. And then what we do is we help them implement. Same with week 2, learn and then implement. Week 3, learn and implement week 4. Now, again, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, I'll dig more into each of these. My goal today, though, is to emphasize that you really need to understand that flow of information so you can give your clients proper support, because you're going to be mentoring them, or someone on your team is going to mentor them. Now, as we know that there are the 3 C's of accessing capital, right? Cash flow, credit worthiness, whether it be personal and or business, and then collateral. So we're going to be identifying if they have gaps or voids in credibility factors during this 28-day process and helping them address those. And then that turns into monetization for you, for your incubator. But we'll leave this discussion to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's go ahead and get down to the balance of the email that I sent out. So as a joint venture incubator manager, you need to have a Calendly calendar set up. It's up to you if you want to spend 15 minutes a week or 30 minutes a week with your clients, but you need to have access for them to schedule with you. What's going to happen is once the client enrolls, and we're going to facilitate the agreement, the DocuSign agreement. We'll send them the DocuSign agreement. You'll sign it. They'll sign it. Then we're going to send them a profile form. And the profile form gathers important data about that business. What type of address do they have? Do they have a business phone number? Do they have an entity set up yet? How much revenue are they generating through their business, or are they pre-revenue? That profile form will be sent to you prior to week 1. So I'm a bit ahead of myself here. That's number 2. But my point is that once that profile form comes back into us, then we are going to start this 28-day process with them, and we're going to provide them your Calendly link. So now they're going to start scheduling once a week with you or whomever you designate at your incubator to mentor them through. And so again, you need to have a calendar set up, which is available for free for the basic membership or application or use of Calendly, and then you'll need to make a decision. I typically do my client appointments in just 15 minutes because I have such a high volume. In the beginning, you'll be building, so maybe you will want to give more time, or it's a little less stressful for you in the beginning as you're becoming more competent in mentoring small businesses through the 4-week process to have a little bigger bucket of time. Now, what we know, let's do the math for a second. So we know for your incubator, the goal is to enroll an average of 1 new client per day and 100 per quarter. But let's just round off and say 33 new clients a month. So if you're going to have 33 clients in week 1, you would only have 5 or 6 clients because you're starting from 0 with a new joint venture incubator manager. So let's just say that you have, we're going to make it simple. Just do round numbers. Let's say you added 10 clients in week 1. Well, if you're doing 30 minutes with each one, then you would have 5 hours of mentoring to do. Not so bad, right? But now week 2, we've added 10 new clients. So you have the 10 prior clients plus the 10 new ones. So now we have 20 clients that you need to mentor. So now if you're doing 30-minute sessions, we're going to need 10 hours of time to mentor them. Enough blocks set up in your Calendly to allow for that. Now in week 3, We've added 10 more just for round numbers. So we have the 10 from week 1, 10 from week 2, 10 new ones from week 3. So you got 30 clients you're going to mentor, each at 30 minutes a piece, and then that would be 15 hours. And then you can see at the end of, by week 4, now we have 40, in this simple example, clients you're mentoring, each at 30 minutes. So that would be 20 hours a week of mentoring. Your responsibility as a joint venture incubator manager is to mentor them during this 4-week session. Then they'll graduate out of that and come over to us for funding. And so then your schedule will open up. So in week 5, the people that started in week 1 will have graduated from this, and then you'll be able to add 10 new. So what's the point? If you're doing 30-minute sessions, which is probably a more conservative approach initially for you, figure that you're going to have about 20 hours a week of mentoring that you're going to do. 40 clients, 30 minutes a piece. So you need to set that up in your Calendly. Now, you control your Calendly, so you can offer daytime hours, evening hours, weekend hours, or whatever combination you want. You need to be accessible, but you control that schedule. Okay, so that covers number 1 and probably number 2. Number 3, it is important for each joint venture incubator to set up, and we're bouncing around calling it an affiliate model or the financial literacy educators that we talked about, but this is just going back to learning objective number 1. So while there is the mentoring aspect that's a very important responsibility of your JV incubator, again, we also need to be generating a funnel and bringing in those clients, for example, 10 new clients a week. And so that is typically done by having a team, which we're calling now financial literacy educators, and then they're using the leads that we provide. They're going out teaching financial literacy, and they're working with the entrepreneurial ecosystem that we just showed. So they're filling the funnel. 10 a week is far from capacity. It's very reasonable that we could be enrolling a lot more in your incubator than just 10 new clients a week. Keep in mind, those clients could be coming in as a full incubator client, or they could just be coming in through the access to capital. Both are still going to include the 4-week curriculum that we've talked about. Okay, as I mentioned, after week 4, they're going to kind of graduate out of working with you through that 4-week sequence, and then they're going to come over to us so we can get their Dropbox folder set up. So I'll talk about this on Friday when we get to banking and money, but ultimately what we do is we help them develop their loan package, lender compliant loan package, and then we're going to upload all those documents into Dropbox. And so we'll help them with that, and then we're going to help them get funding. That won't be your responsibility. You're going to be helping them build their financial literacy and build their loan package through the 28-day process, which is described here, and it's shown here. So again, if you're not really familiar with this and you've not watched these 4 videos, you really should, and you may even want to consider going through as a client yourself. Okay, back over here. You need to have the right mindset. We're not trying to sell anything to clients, but what we're trying to do is help them address their credibility voids. Because what you know and I know is that if they meet the credibility standards, the underwriting standards, then they get funded. If they don't, they don't. And that's the most common area of frustration or concern that we see with clients, that they'll come to us and they'll say, well, I've been with you 4 weeks. Why am I not funded yet? Well, you're not credible yet. We still need to address your credibility factors, because what you and I know is they need at least one of the 3 C's. We either need cash flow, credit worthiness, if I can highlight that, and or collateral. Now, the more of the C's they have, the better, but we must have at least one of those 3 C's. So that's what's addressed here. On number 6, this is really important because, again, in our society, we teach people through school and college how to go get a job. We typically don't teach them how to create jobs or how to start businesses. So they don't know what they don't know, and they can become frustrated. Keep in mind that two of the three C's, cash flow and credit worthiness, are so easily fixed. No one should ever be concerned, frustrated, or locked out of accessing capital because of their current situation with cash flow or credit worthiness. We can help them generate cash flow very quickly. We can help them improve their credit worthiness very quickly. So that doesn't mean that they're credible the day one that they come to us. If they were, I guess they wouldn't need us, right? They would be down talking to the banker getting funded. But we can help them address any of these three C's. So that's the point here. Don't let them think that their current situation is a barrier. We will create a plan to resolve that. All right, so expectations, and then we'll get to your questions here. So our goal is to enroll on average one new client per day in each of your incubators to generate 30 to 35 clients a month, or 100 a quarter. Since the Access to Capital program has no upfront cost, that is a very realistic expectation if you execute. If you implement well, this is going to work out remarkably profitable for you. It's about implementation. So with that being said, we need to really start thinking about both getting familiar with what you're going to do with the clients during the 4-week process. And secondly, we've got to build that team of financial literacy educators that are going to be teaching, promoting, working with the key influencers. Can you be doing that as well as a joint venture incubator manager? Of course, but there's only so much time in the day. You'll run out of time. But without a doubt, our goal is to enroll 30 to 35 clients a month in your incubator, and that's what our financial modeling is based on average, one a day. You want to be compassionate but firm with clients. They often don't know what they don't know. And to get funded, you have to meet the credibility factors. That's what we're going to do together, is help them meet their credibility factors. That's why you're going to see a lot of people enroll in your incubator, is because they don't have the credibility factors necessary. Many of the times they don't have a commercial address. They often don't have a business phone number that's listed with directory assistance. They may not have a website. They may be using some crappy Gmail or Yahoo email, which is a personal email, not a business email. They often don't have the ability to generate balance sheets and income statements. We're going to provide them QuickBooks through the incubator at no cost to them. So what we're going to do is position them to be credible. That's what we're going to do together. Now, again, not all clients need to enroll in the incubator package. They may already have some of those credibility factors, or their preference may be to not use your commercial address, and that's fine. They can still go through the Access to Capital program. We can still help them with their capital raise. You'll still be paid the 50-50 mix through the Joint Venture Incubator relationship that we have established. And again, we have to build a team. There's very few of you. There's a few of you on the webinar right now, but there's very few of you that are going to be able to generate 30 to 35 or more clients a month if you're just a one-person show. That's a ridiculous strategy. We've talked about, if you and I were to go out and open a Domino's franchise, would we say, oh, we don't want to have anyone else? I'll go in and I'll open the store at 11 a.m. or whatever time they open. We'll close it at 10 p.m. or whatever time they close. We'll answer the phones. We'll monitor the online orders. We'll prepare the dough. We'll bake the pizza. We'll deliver the pizza. And of course not. You know, an effective business is going to need a team. And so you need to have financial literacy educators on your team. As we've discussed earlier, they can either be 1099, so they're only paid based upon performance. We can use the workforce grant and set up a salary for them and then cover their benefits, but we're going to have to build a team. Okay, so let's see what questions that any of you have. Robert, who's one of our joint venture incubator partners, yes. So we're going to facilitate networking amongst our joint venture incubator managers, including quarterly in-person gatherings. We're planning first quarter of next year of 2021 to be the first gathering. We just need to make it through the holidays and make sure that travel is permissible and that we don't have a flare up here. But yes, on a quarterly basis, we will be getting together all of our joint venture incubator managers in select cities based upon the time of the year. We don't want to go to New York City in the winter time, and we probably wouldn't want to go to Miami in the summertime. But yes, we'll be getting together and facilitating that. Thank you for asking, Robert. And then Diamond's asking, I guess, about the cost of the incubator. So Diamond, you're already a joint venture incubator manager, so I may not understand the timing of your question. But for any of you that's not a joint venture incubator manager, it costs $250 to set up upfront to set up a joint venture incubator. And then we've gone through the financial projections and all of that, and you can see that. If we go over to the IIMFL website, and it's frankly not on the menu bar, but if you type in training, iimfl.org/training, you'll see that there's 4 really good training webinars that includes something that what you all should see. And then there's a bunch of other trainings also parked on this page. But any of you that are joint venture incubator partners or considering becoming one, these top 4 videos are crucial. And so from a client perspective, they can either come through your incubator at no cost up front, access the Access to Capital program, guaranteed $100,000 capital raise. So that allows us to cast a wide net, as we've said, and the small businesses have no out-of-pocket cost. If they want to plug into your full incubator, whereby they are getting the commercial address and the business phone number and the website and the QuickBooks and all of that value proposition that is outlined here on the incubator page, then they pay a deposit, a refundable deposit of $999 when they enroll in the incubator, and then they have a weekly $99 payment. And so your incubator will collect the $999 deposit. You'll collect the $99 a week from the incubator clients. It's a great value when you look at all that we're providing. If that's not within their budget or their preference, that's fine. We can just simply set them up with just a commercial address, and they pay a flat $499, and we split that 50-50. So that's a quick $250 in your pocket. Or again, they can come in through the Access to Capital proposition, which has no upfront cost for them. So we've got options for all budgets of small businesses. Okay, so who else has any questions of what we didn't cover regarding our agenda topics today, which was it's crucial to build a team of financial literacy educators. You can't go it alone. You shouldn't go it alone. You're not going to help near as many small businesses if you're a one-person show. You can get financial literacy educators that work on a performance-only basis, what we refer to as our affiliate model. You can replicate that. We've developed over 4,000 affiliates that have come to us that don't require any upfront payment, and they just go out and promote. So you could do that. Or you could tap into the workforce grant and actually hire them as W-2 employees. It doesn't matter, but we've got to build a distribution team. And then secondly, it's crucial that you understand this initial 4-week process that clients are going to go through. And again, we'll talk more about this in detail on Tuesday, this on Wednesday, this on Thursday, and this on Friday. But what you certainly can be doing is, if you're not familiar with it, go to the IIMFL website, go to the small business certification, and get real familiar with this curriculum, including watching these 4 videos. Okay, who has any questions that I didn't cover in terms of our joint venture incubator process, the importance of doing these things to get started, to be successful? December is coming up, and we need to be able to have a great month of December together. We need each of you to make sure you have your incubator set up this week. If it's not set up, get with us and we'll get it set up this week. And I know there's holidays at the end of December, but we'll be able to generate positive cash flow in December, and then January will be crazy, because when it comes to a new year, people have resolutions and they're ready to do new things and revisit prior commitments, such as, hey, I want to own my own business, and we're going to be able to help them get the funding by having the credibility standards. Brian's asking a good question. You know, as an incubator manager, you determine how you want to pay your people. And if you want to start them as 1099 and then after performance, flip them over to W-2 or vice versa, it's your choice, Brian. It's your entity. We're going to set up a business license agreement between IIMFL, our 501c3, and your entity. We'll set up the Joint Venture Incubator Manager, but you're managing and you're recruiting, you're hiring, you're managing your team. And so it's entirely up to you, Brian, how you want to pay them. Now, I do need to go back, though, because I think I oversimplified that. Let's go back for a moment and look at the entrepreneur ecosystem. You know, the business bankers aren't going to come work for you, right? They work for the bank. And so they would just be on a referral basis, and they may not even be able to accept commissions. Pastors and chamber executives. And so a lot of times these business to business professionals, they should be really treated as an affiliate. We'll call them a financial literacy educator, but really an affiliate model whereby they refer to you and they're paid off of conversions. But if you have people that are just standalone, someone you hired off of Indeed or Monster or jobs.com, and they're not any of these, then of course you could put them on payroll. But it would be ludicrous, right, to go down to the Chamber of Commerce and go to the executive director and say, hey, I'd like to hire you away from the chamber. That kind of defeats the purpose. It's going to piss the chamber off, number one. And number two, it's the chamber executives' relationships through the chamber that makes them so valuable. So you're not trying to recruit away pastors and chambers. Instead, many of these professionals are going to be just on more of a pay for performance basis, where you could have also an in-house team that's paid salary plus incentives. All right, so let's wrap it up. What we need to do, and let me close this so we're back to where we started, and we need to get your joint venture incubator set up this week. So we have December, we'll create positive cash flow this month, but we need to have everything fully ready for an explosive January. So if you've not set your incubator up yet, you can go to our website, IIMFL, go to the incubator page, scroll all the way down, and then let us know that you're ready and say, I'm interested in managing an IIMFL small business virtual incubator in my community. I realize some of you are our affiliate partners and that's all you want to be. And that's just fine. You can remain an affiliate partner. And so then as an affiliate partner, you refer in to one of the incubators. And so that is fine as well. Okay, any questions before we wrap it up today? We covered a lot of information, and we're going to piggyback off of this on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Anyone have any questions before we end the call today? All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and let's make it matter. Have a good day. Bye.